Alright, we're going to talk a little history today. This was actually a video idea that I once had. I wanted to make a little story of the G-Man squad kind of thing, but I didn't really know if too many people. That would probably be an upload for JS Xanatos and not really Machinima. And if I have a video that I put a lot of effort into, I want to make it something for Machinima. But, so the story of the G-Man squad is basically this. Episode 1, let's take a look here. When was that made? Type this up here. G-Man Squad Episode 1. We made that, wow, 3 years ago. Time flies. December 17th, 2007. I believe we started filming right at the end of November of that year. And literally, it shouldn't come as a surprise. The series started off as a joke. The game that we made this in is Half-Life Deathmatch Source. And what the game originally was intended to be was a port of Half-Life 1 to the Source engine, and Valve actually thought about remaking it themselves from scratch. You can see evidence of this in the multiplayer map Bounce. They added a skybox and changed a couple textures around, but then they basically just said, fuck it, let's just port everything and leave it as is and not do anything else, and lo and behold you have a buggy multiplayer port. And so the game was a laugh, basically. It was included, I don't know if many of you guys remember this, a lot of you probably got it, or probably got Episode 1 and Episode 2 from the Orange Box. It actually started, in Episode 1, they included Half-Life Deathmatch Source. It was like a $20 game, and with it you got Half-Life 2 Deathmatch and Half-Life Deathmatch Source. And right around that time there were probably about 4 or 5 servers total, with maybe about 6 or 7 people playing. And so Boris was basically the creator of the G-Man squad. He got a bunch of us on Ventrilo. I wasn't one of the first involved to install the game. Everybody changed their model to G-Men, and they all had clan tags. G-Man squad. They pretended to be a clan for this game that nobody played. So it was just basically a big inside joke, only to us. We didn't think anybody was going to get it. Sure enough, they didn't. I imagine just it was a lot of 14-year-old kids and or Eastern Europeans that played the multiplayer of Half-Life Deathmatch Source. And so after that, we just kind of got onto this habit of messing with people, and the G-Man squad was born. I told Boris, I think this has potential to make a good series, to make a good video. And so there was that part of it, and that was the only thing that we had thought of at the time. If you remember introducing the G-Man squad, that's an episode or a video that I have up on JS Xanatos, set to Little Green Bag, and it was a Reservoir Dogs thing. Because you'll notice a lot, especially with a lot of my older videos, you can see heavy influences from movies that I was engrossed in at the time. And so with the G-Man squad, episode 1 in the introduction, Reservoir Dogs was a big thing. Reservoir Dogs was my thing, at the time. And let's see, where can I go from there? Oh, yes, after that, we had the whole multiplayer thing, the messing with people in public servers down and teaming up in deathmatch environments. But then, there's this thing with Half-Life Deathmatch Source where you can change to single-player levels. Apparently, Valve didn't disable this, and they still haven't disabled this, where you can change the level via console to any of the single-player maps in Half-Life. It's not very playable, it's not something that works very well, but you can still do it. And by accident, there was about maybe 4 or 5 of us. Me, Wolfer, HK, and probably a couple others like Boris and another person who just never really was active with their voice. And what we did was we changed to that first level of Half-Life 1 by accident. It was, the one with right after the tramps. And I had a demo recorded. We had a horrid way of recording videos back then. We did everything with demos. And so I had a demo recording for whatever reason, and we get into this level and I'm busy setting up something. I'm typing in a bunch of console commands, getting ready for who knows what. And next thing I know, I hear HK and Wolfer screaming, "Let's go, get him!" Ah, rah. And next thing you know, they're running through the single-player levels, killing all the NPCs, etc., etc. And the rest is history. That's basically how the G-Men squad began, was that right there. completely accidental, nothing intentional. It was just Wolfer and HK being Wolfer and HK. HK was the voice of Clyde, you know, but he was pretty prominent as a G-Man, and especially in the first few episodes. And really, that's where the concept came from. It just from there it was, let's make this sort of a sketch comedy thing. Tim and Eric was going to play a huge influence, you know, and you can see that the first few episodes are very crude from an editing standpoint, and there's a lot more that I could cover here, but I'm already at 5.5 minutes, so let's edit at that. I would like to do more videos of this nature about other projects that we've had in the past, you know, some of the other things from the 2008 period, which was probably our healthiest in terms of production. I'd like to just basically do stuff exactly like this for you guys, and maybe we can make legitimate videos out of this. Particularly, I mean, the G-Man Squad is a great subject because there's a lot of history that goes into that. I mean, the filming of the video was always the hardest part, and the part that I wanted to forget the most because it was the biggest headache, and I just wanted to, after filming was done, you know, filming would usually take a week or two, I would be completely ready to focus on the next part, which was editing. And editing was a major component in all those videos, even though it got a little goofy, obviously. But that's G-Man Squad, you know. And so if you have any ideas, just kind of shoot them by me in the comments here. Any old videos, preferably some of the bigger ones, not some of the more unknown ones or any of the really old ones. And give it a shot. Hope you guys enjoy. Thank you.